Now it's your 40th professional fight this weekend. How are you feeling ahead of another massive bout?
Feeling good, man. Just flew into New Jersey today, going through the process, checking in, signing posters, the whole routine. It feels normal to me at this point.
Hey Dustin, it's Steve here. You've had an amazing career so far. You've accomplished everything there is to accomplish in the sport except for one thing, which is the undisputed title, a lightweight title. How, if you had the choice, would you like to win the title? It's, submission, knockout, like how would you like it to go?
Knockout, of course. Come on.
I thought the jumping gilly would be like the ultimate caveat to your career.
That would be a good one. That would be a good one. I think I'd still rather knock him out.
Hey mate, Denan here. Going up against such a good wrestler in Islam Makhachev, obviously you can't give your game plan away, but do you feel that your striking is a level above Islam's? He has improved over the last few fights, but obviously that's where you do a lot of your damage. Do you feel it's another level, or are you going to look to exploit him in other areas?
I feel confident in my striking for sure. I think I can finish him on the feet, but he's no slouch there either. He's dangerous, getting better, putting kicks together well. He's pretty well rounded. He's not like everybody compares him to Khabib. Their wrestling style and pressure is similar, but the takedowns he uses, the trips he uses are different style than Khabib's, and his stand up is way more fluid than Khabib's. I respect his stand up game as well, but that's where I want to fight him.
Yeah, speaking of Khabib, do you think that they are different fighters for sure, but do you think there are parts of his game that you'll be able to learn from your contest with Khabib?
I think so. Well, the understanding of the pressure and how good these guys are with recognizing balance and their weight distribution. There's a bunch of small intricacies that these guys do really, really well that I thought I understood before I got in there and fought Khabib, in 2019.
Now, Dustin, you've said that, you've hinted that this could be your last fight in the cage. Say it ain't so, Dustin. The MMA world wouldn't be the same without you.
I'm 35 years old. This is my 40th pro fight. I have 9 fights or 10 fights that aren't on my pro record. I have 50 fights in mixed martial arts, and I'm just trying to get every box checked, and getting that undisputed title is the next step. But I got to see how I feel out there. I felt good in this training camp. I'm kind of fighting back to back. I just fought at 299 in Miami, turned around and jumped right back into camp when this opportunity came along. My body still feels good, but I don't want to be pushed out of the sport. I don't want this sport to retire me. I want to retire on my own terms. So I just got to go out there and see what happens.
Yeah, Islam has been finished before, as you know, and it was against the southpaw. Was there anything in that fight that you particularly saw that you can sort of apply to your game, or is it just you're going to do your own thing?
I think the Islam I'm fighting Saturday night is a different guy than we saw in that time he lost. He was kind of fumbling, and his weight was over his feet. He was running in kind of goofy and got hit with a good shot. But definitely, if he's lunging in and covering space like that recklessly, I'll throw check hooks all day.
Mate, look, I'm sure you're sick of hearing his name, but obviously Conor McGregor returns this year. Is there a chance for that third fight to happen, or would it be a fourth fight to happen, or have you kind of moved past that, having defeated him twice?
I've kind of moved past it, and I'm fighting for the undisputed world title. That's the pinnacle of the sport. Fighting Conor isn't the pinnacle. Being the undisputed world champion is the pinnacle. That's what I've been focused on. But I do think he's going to beat Chandler.
And so, if he is to beat Chandler and you are to beat Islam, would you consider giving him a shot, although he probably hasn't earned that?
We got to see, man. I don't like to play the cards before I'm dealt them.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, you've come from like a small town and like a harder upbringing. What's it like thinking about your journey from like back then to where you are now?
Honestly, man, I practice gratitude every day, and I'm just really thankful things fell in place the way they did, and I was able to fight for as long as I have and provide for my family the way I have through doing something I love to do. Everything I have is from fighting. I started fighting when I was 17 years old, and I never turned, any other direction. I just went full steam ahead in this fight journey, and it's made me who I am today. So I'm just thankful for it all. I just want to be content with I'm definitely grateful and thankful what a ride it's been. But when I do finally lay the gloves down, I just want to be content.
And mate, being a fan of your career and being an Australian, there's a lot of things that as Aussies we can relate to with your career. We call it Australian battler spirit. Have you been out to Australia? And if you did you enjoy it? Would you like to come out here?
I've never been there, man, but I want to come. I want to go.
Well, Dustin, we can't wait to see you in action. Thank you so much for your time on Fox Sports. And if this is indeed the last hurrah, thank you so much for what's been an incredible career. You provided the MMA populace with so many moments that we're going to cherish forever. And all the best to you, my friend.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it, man.
There he was, Dustin Poirier. What a guy. What a legend, Steve, huh?
Yeah, he's a great role model. Like, he's a guy that's not just had everything go his way. He's had ups, he's had downs, but he's like fought all the way through. And like, yeah, to have him win the title, it'll be a big inspiration to me also.
I feel like a lot of fans are rooting for Dustin in this one, didn't
Oh, mate, as I said, like, I want Dustin Poirier to win the title. He's such a good example of not allowing results that don't go your way, and almost, you know, the noise around Dustin Poirier is, you know, he's not a big fight. When he gets to the big fights, he crumbles. And he's just not allowed that to negatively impact him. And we have to remember, he's had massive fights. Like, there's an argument to be made that the Conor McGregor fight, when it comes to big fights, rather than obviously winning the belt is the biggest prize, but publicity-wise, it's the biggest fight you can have in combat sports. And he's beaten him twice now. So he has performed in big fights, but obviously when he gets to that belt, and he's never let it deter him. I mean, there's an argument, a lot of MMA fans 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago, were kind of looking at Dustin Poirier. Is he past his best? Is he going to really reach the heights that maybe we thought he was going to in the earlier parts of his career? And he just reinvigorated himself. He's still such a good fighter. He's still here, and he's at the tippity top. And also, what I love about the fact that, look, I'm sure the UFC are sitting there going, we would love a young superstar in the 155 division to come and explode things open and become Islam's nemesis. But Dustin Poirier has basically said, no, you will not refuse my greatness. I am going to continue turning up, and you have to put me in a title fight because I'm going to keep either beating the best or beating the next up-and-coming fighter.
Well, Dustin was actually surprised in his last fight, the fact that they matched him up with somebody 9 places below him in the rankings in Benoit Saint-Denis. And you sort of got the vibe that, okay, maybe this is the UFC's way of building up another young superstar. Look how that turned out. The Diamond with an incredible knockout in the second round.
Exactly. And if you go back and watch that fight, the mental toughness, it wasn't just the physical pressure he was under, the mental pressure that was put on him in those first round and a half. A lot of blokes would have said, you know what? I've been in this game for so long. I've done so much. My legacy is cemented. But the fight he showed to somehow, the obviously on the ground defence and then getting up and knocking him out, it just reflects his career. That last fight reflects his career. Everything was going against him, and then in a split second, his toughness turned it into his favour.
We know you're rooting for him, but Denon, quick tip, who wins?
Look, I think Islam wins, but I want Dustin to win. I want Dustin to win. I think it'll be one of the great stories in MMA. He's one of the good guys. Any kid can look up to him in his journey. He hasn't been gifted with incredible natural attributes. It's all been hard work. So I'm going to pick Islam to win, but I hope Dustin does.
Steve?
I originally, when I was thinking about the fight, thought Islam, but I completely flip-flopped this week. Watching the way Khabib sort of took the fight and the way he does his ground game is very different to the way that Islam sort of applies his ground game, a lot less ground and pound. And Saint Denis, I think, is a similar grappler in the way that Islam is, like more submissions, that sort of thing. And Dustin did a great job at handling that. And then, at some point, wrestling is very tiring. So he's going to get up to his feet, and I think 3rd or 4th round, Dustin's going to put him out.
All right, we're off to a quick break here on Fox Sports. Stay with us. Right after this, we're going to preview the co-main event between Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa. We're back in a moment.